Salmonella is a bacteria that can be found in different kinds of foods, such as chicken, beef, pork, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. Usually, it's pretty hard to tell when a food is contaminated by salmonella. Therefore, it's important to learn how to prevent an infection and acquire good habits of cleaning and sanitizing properly your foods. The FDA and the CDC have reported 892 cases of salmonella coming from onions. In this assignment, we will evaluate the process of receiving the onion from the crops until the final storage, identifying the risk areas and the critical limit of the product. This is a flowchart of our process. It starts with the reception of the product, which is when we receive the product after it's been harvested in the field, in this case, the onion. The next step is the product withdrawal, where the product, after it was received, it's checked for the good quality and then transferred to the workspace for the next stage. Next step is the stem cutting, which is pretty straightforward, where we cut the stems of the product. Next comes the exterior washing. In this part, the vegetables are washed on their surface and disinfected to ensure that all of these toxic substances are removed for the health of the consumer. Next is the packaging, where the already washed onions are placed in a propylene sack. And finally, it's the storage, where the bags that are already full are stored to continue their destinations.
What we did here was a hazard analysis, where we listed all the possible dangers that could be noticed from the supplier all the way up to the storage before distribution. On the second chart, we made a preventive control plan based on the main problem, which was the presence of salmonella in onions. So this way, we defined the monitoring phase as follows. The first step is knowing what's the concentration of chlorine we're using. The way to know this is by using a strip of diacetyl paraphenyldimine, which will tell us the concentration of 10 ppm to make sure it's on the right amount. The frequency will be one inspection per week made by the authorized personnel. In case something goes wrong, we listed up the corrective measurements as follows. First, we separate the onions from the hazardous lot. Then we make the disinfection wash so the product won't go to waste. And at last, we write all the details on the binacle with all the information about the procedure we use to disinfect it.
First of all, the product must be immobilized. The place must verify the supplier and inform all the people involved in the process inside the company. After that, the company must create a retirement plan, which consists on evaluating the risk. In this case, is the risk number 1. Communicate the consumer, giving them instructions and verifying effectiveness, causes and consequences. Finally, disposing the product.
Well, to conclude with the issue of salmonella in onions, the data of the risk analysis in the process was taken into account, and it was established that the point where salmonella contamination can occur is at the time of disinfection with dirty or contaminated water. Although this issue cannot be clearly resolved, in the same way, it is suspected that the contamination comes from the sources of watering in the field of use of pipe water.